So this video is intended to help you with Module 6, Topic 5 in the workbook. That starts on page 233 in the September edition of the workbook. And in that section, the assignment that you have is to make the find the sample statistics, make tables of sample statistics for use later in your class project. When you come to this assignment, this topic 5, the assumption is that you've already done the earlier topics. There was a video before where we got our simple random sample of 36 counties in the United States, and we collected some data about the mortality rate from hepatitis in the year 2014. And so when you come to this video that you're watching right now, you should already have a spreadsheet that looks like this, but with all your numbers filled in with the mortality rates for each of your own 36 counties. And then what we're doing today is making tables of sample statistics, the mean and the median, standard deviation, so forth, for these. Now, in the workbook, you'll see this list of the Excel formulas for finding those sample statistics. And you know, where I have the formula written out here, sometimes it'll say data. Where it says data, that means all these numbers where you will have looked up the mortality rates. So where the word data is, you would just select those numbers. And to see examples of tables of sample statistics, where you can see examples of the formatting for how to make the table look nice so you can then just paste it into your research paper later. So you'll find examples of that on the tree diameters tab of the spreadsheet with the data for the class, the data for the workbook. So now you have 2 spreadsheets that you're working with. You're having the one that I published at the beginning of the semester with all the data for the class, and then you have your own where you've made your sample for your project. So you have 2 worksheets in Excel. Now, I'm going to, when you get ready to do the homework for topic 5, so homework 1, in the instructions there you have examples that show you the appearance of the table. Okay, now this one, you notice this example here I did for the gasoline mileage, the fuel efficiency of the cars, but for your project, of course, the units of measurement will be different. It's the mortality rates. The units are the DPHT, deaths per 100,000 people. So you'll change the units of measurement and you'll change the numbers to match your data. But the illustration here shows you how to format the tables. And I'm going to demonstrate that in Excel over here in just a second. And then you need to make a box plot. And there's a tool on the web that you can go to. And this makes a pretty nice box plot. Excel, if you're using the later versions of Excel, at least on Windows, with Excel 2019, Excel has a built-in tool for making box plots as well. You can go to Insert, and then under Charts, somewhere over here, there's a box plot item. Well, it's in there. Let me see. Box and Whisker, here it is. So you go to Insert, and then you get the full menu of all their charts, and then Box and Whisker is here. And so you can do it that way, or some people find this tool online is just easier to use. So either way. Okay. Now, I want to go over here to the data spreadsheet for the class, the data for the workbook, and I'm on the Tree Diameters tab. And if you scroll over, you have the distribution table, and then below that we have the tables of sample statistics. And so you could just copy and paste one of these tables. There are all three of them. You'll need to make three tables, one for the measures of center, one for the measures of dispersion, and one for the 5-number summary. So you can just copy and paste these over into your own spreadsheet. And the formulas will go along, but you'll have to edit just a little bit. So let me click here on the mean. See the formula in there, it's the average of the cells E9 through E35. If I scroll back over here, you see E9 through E35 is here. That's just the data. So after you copy and paste the table into your own spreadsheet, you then have to go and change those selections to select the right numbers in your spreadsheet. But that's it. You can click on any one of these cells to see the formula that's being used. There's not any formula being used for the mode here because Excel's mode function only really works with categorical or discrete data. That's not what you have. You have a continuous variable. So after you make your histogram, you look at the tallest bar in your histogram, the class mark, the midpoint of that bar. That's the mode for a continuous variable. But the others all have functions that can get you the sample stats, and you just edit the selection, the data selection, when you put this into your own spreadsheet to select your own data. And when you hand it in, you'll just you'll just hand in the spreadsheet for now. So that'll be your spreadsheet over here with the data. You'll have added these tables and hand that in. But later you'll copy and paste the formatted tables into your research paper, which will be, you'll write that in as a Word document, and then when you finally get ready to hand it in, save it as PDF. So that's how it'll work. These grading criteria here, I think for the homework, it's just the 3-point thing, you know, either achieved the goals or made progress. Was it on time? But the grading criteria here are listed for, you know, it says they're not real because I'm not applying them now to this homework, but those are the criteria that will be applied to the final research paper. And so if you go ahead and you check your tables now, you know, after you make them for this homework, go ahead and check them on all these grading items, and then when you paste it into your research paper, they will be correct. Okay. So that's all I have to say in the video, and just use the spreadsheet and use the instructions in the workbook, and ask in the Zoom meeting if you have any questions. And I think that's all for this presentation. Thanks, and see you next time.